you visit a brewery, you're likely to find some hop plants nearby like we do here at Rogues Harbor. The hop plant is a vine-like perennial that produces a seed somewhat resembling a pine cone. Now the seed cone is what brewers use to add bittering flavor to beer. Hops can also add a floral aroma to the beverage. Hops are a very hardy plant that grow widely across the U.S. In fact, prior to Prohibition in the 1930s, New York State was the largest hop producer in the country. Unfortunately, the Prohibition movement virtually wiped out hops as a cash crop, and it's only within the last few years that New York hop farming has started to come back. With an interest in keeping it green around here, we've hooked up with some of our local hop growers to provide us with some fresh local hops. During this fall's harvest, I was invited to visit a couple of these growers to see what goes down on the farm.
We handpick these. It tends to be very labor intense. So for the next 2 weeks, we'll be living our lives out here. Hops are not like an apple. You can't pick a hop, put it in a bin, and come back a week later and they're good. A hop goes bad in 24 hours of being picked. So we have to process this hop, or at least start the processing, immediately. Right when we pick these hops, we literally walk up about every half hour and start dumping our containers into the drying room to get them to start the processing immediately. Then what we have to do is we have to grind them. Then at that point in time, we take the ground hop and pour it through into a hopper, which is a big funnel, if you will, and it feeds it into the pelletizer, which basically has a die with a bunch of little holes the size of rabbit pellets, and it shoves it and compresses it into these dies, and then at the bottom it kicks out the pellets.
There are a few styles of beer that use whole hops, but for the most part, breweries use hops that are impressed into these pellets. Now, hop pellets are easier to measure, have a much longer shelf life, and can be used in the brewing process without any special equipment. Although New York State hop farming is on the rise, breweries get the bulk of their hops from farms from Germany, Great Britain, and on the west coast of the United States. While New York State hop farming is not widespread, I met another grower over on the west side of Cayuga Lake who I think's got the right idea when it comes to starting a hop farm.
Now, as you can see, all of these here have been harvested already this year. And this is what's left of the nugget. We started planting these 4 rows right here last year. They went in the ground April 15th of 2010. So these are still young second-year plants. They're not fully mature yet, being a 3-year maturity. After year 3, these plants should produce 1 pound of dried hops per plant. And I have just 5,000 plants planted right now.
How do you tell a hop is good?
You mean ready for harvest? There's a couple different ways. One is the scientific way of measuring your moisture. Or you can, if you roll them against your ear, you can hear that crepe paper sound, and that's very close. And you also want to peel open the cone. When that turns from a yellow to a bright gold color, like it is right there, and then the smell of it. So these are ready to pick and send to the dryer.
I want to thank my friends Tim and Todd for inviting me out to their farms to see what it takes to grow hops in New York State. Now, if you want to try some local beer with some fresh local hops, just come on out to Rogues Harbor and have a pint.